Oh my goodness. I was just creeping on Elise and I was watching some of her videos, and one of the first ones where she shares the link to Eric Thomas's focus video. Whew. I am just like overpowered right now with emotions. And when I started working out and whatever, I didn't really have a why, except I wanted to fit in my wedding dress. And then I wanted to become a coach, and I told Elise why. Like, I didn't know it until I watched the focus video, that's for sure. Guess I know I want a good life, a great life for my future family. For now, like, why now? I want a great life now. Growing up, my dad was an alcoholic, and he beat my mom every other day, and it was really hard to go through that every day. And then to get away from my dad, my mom and I would go to her parents, and I was sexually abused by her stepdad. So that was the first 10, 11 years of my life. Then my mom finally left my dad, and she met Jim, and Jim and I became super close because I was not close with my dad. In fact, long story short, my mom stopped talking to her parents. I didn't tell her what happened, what was going on. It was for her own reasons, and so my grandparents didn't see me as much, so they suckered my dad into their black hole and moved him down the street, and this was their ex-son-in-law, who was still an alcoholic. Like, they're just sick people. So eventually I had to write a letter to a judge, because my grandparents were trying to help my dad get more custody of me. So I had to write a letter to the judge stating what I wanted, and that's when I told my mom, I wrote in the letter, I don't want to live, 2 doors down away from my grandpa who sexually abused me, and, with my alcoholic father. Duh. So my dad didn't believe me that his ex-father-in-law, who talked so much shit about him all the time, sexually abused his own daughter. So I stopped talking to my dad. So Jim and I just got super duper close, and so it was from 7th grade to junior year. I was living the life, to me. Jim worked in a paper mill, my mom was a CNA, and we weren't rich or anything, but I had a stable house. I had Jim to go to for homework and boyfriend problems and whatever. So, and I did have a lot of issues, like freshman, sophomore year. I was just having a really hard time with, not having any connection to my dad or that whole side of the family. I really missed them. So I was just having a really hard time. Jim was there for me. You're probably wondering why I'm talking about him in past tense. It's because he died. I found him dead June 6th of 2010. July 6th, I'm sorry. Yeah, and that January, my mom moved out. Her and Jim just, I don't know, they just said they seem more like friends and whatever. I was heartbroken. And I told my mom, I ain't moving out. You can move out. I'm gonna stay living with Jim. because, you know, this has been my stable house that I've always dreamed of and always wanted. So she moved out, and, you know, Jim and I became even more close, and my dad and I actually started talking that January too, and my little high school sweetheart and I broke up that January, so I was crazy that January. So, yeah, I got to see my dad again in 2010 after about 4 years of not talking. But I was excited to see him. So he went to rehab in Georgia, and I'm sure I'm going to post, you know, I'm going to tell you guys that I love my dad and I love my mom and everything. They're not bad people, but anyway. So I came back from seeing my dad, and Jim was diabetic, and he didn't really take care of himself, you know. He always had happy hour with his mom and dad, and, you know, Friday night fish fries and everything like that. And one that July 5th he came home, and he worked in a paper mill, so he was just really hot, and just, he said he didn't feel good, and he just didn't seem like he was dying. I didn't know any better. You know, sometimes I feel guilty for not taking care of him, I guess. So yeah, July 6th, I remember that day like it was yesterday, but I avoided going home all day because I knew something was wrong. He wasn't talking to me or anything, and I came home, and I walked in the bedroom and I tried to wake him up, and he wasn't waking up, and I ran out of the house. I was terrified. I called my mom, and, you know, she came and verified that he was dead, and my whole world got shattered again. You know, I got punched in the face, like Eric Thomas says in the video. So, I really connected to my why just now. I don't want to have to be scared of what's to come, and I mean, I know life's gonna throw punches, but I just want control, I guess, of my life. You know, they always say you're never the victim. You put yourself in those situations, and I'm just like, was I supposed to run away when I was little? I don't really know how I would have gotten out of the hardships that I went through growing up, just because I was a child. So, but I don't know. Yep, this is my first video journal. I've been wanting to do one for a while. I just never had, you know, a push to do it until I watched the video Focus. So thank you, Elise, for sharing. Sharing really is caring, because I'm just overwhelmed with emotion right now. You know, like I said, I really connected to my why, and I'm just now, like, yeah, I was excited to wake up and work out, but I mean, come on. I gotta pull myself out of bed because I'm just so tired, and it's cold out now and whatever. But now, I'm like, oh, I want to go to bed right now so I can really focus on my why and get to my goals. And I'm just overwhelmed in a good way. So, yeah, well, today is November 12th, 2014, and I'm Jenny Wagner, and I just opened my heart to you. So if you watch this, thank you for watching. There'll be more to come now, since I know why I'm doing this. Alright, have a good night, guys. Thank you.